Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I'm Penge, and welcome to day 13 of the Geek Cupboard's Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021. So here we go. Let's search for Little Tea Pocket number 13. Now, it's not on our kind of first panel. Is it on the second panel? Hang on a second. No, it is not. I don't think it's on the third. So it must be on the last one. It's on the last one. There it is. Ah, right. It's this very sort of vibrant green one. So what do we have in store for us today? We have... Okay, this sounds very intriguing. Wild apple and cinnamon. A sunlit orchard of warmth and sweet spice. I mean, it's got cinnamon in, so it should be quite nice, because cinnamon makes most things brilliant. So hopefully it's going to be quite nice. I don't quite know why it's wild apple, as opposed to, I don't know, domesticated apple. I don't know. Does a wild apple taste different to other apples? I am not entirely sure. But you know what? There's only one thing that we need to do right now, and that's go to the kettle. And here we are with our lovely freshly brewed cup of wild apple and cinnamon tea. And to look at it, it looks very, very sort of golden. I mean, it's a green tea, but it's a very golden looking green tea. It does look a little bit like mead. That's what I thought when I first saw it after it had been brewing for maybe about 5 minutes. So, it does look a little bit sort of mead-esque. I mean, it smells quite nice. I can smell it from here. So it must have quite a strong smell. But then I think cinnamon is quite a strong smelling thing anyway, so maybe we shouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, it does smell, unsurprisingly, of cinnamon. I mean, if I actually give it a proper smell... Yeah, it's just cinnamon. It's just a cinnamon smell. Yeah, which is absolutely fine because it's got cinnamon in. However, let's have a taste. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, that's nice. That is quite nice. I was expecting more cinnamon. I mean, from the smell of it, you'd think it would taste quite strong. It's not as strong tasting with the cinnamon as I thought it might be. But yeah, it's a little bit fruity. I think it has a little bit of a fruity taste to it. Again, not surprising because, it's a wild apple and cinnamon tea. So there's a little bit of sort of sweet fruitiness with that. And then obviously some cinnamon. But yeah, the cinnamon is not overpowering. I mean, I suppose if it was too strong, you wouldn't taste the wild apple. You wouldn't get the sort of, the appley fruitiness coming through, and it would just be entirely cinnamon, which would, sort of spoil the fruit side of things. So, do you know what? Yeah, that's quite nice. It's quite nice. I'm going to go in for tasting number 2. Yeah, that's a nice tea. It's very nice. It's very easy to drink, and it's a lovely sort of flavour. I mean, cinnamon, in my opinion, makes pretty much all things better. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls, cinnamon tea. Cinnamon in things generally improves it. So, yeah, it's a nice tea. It's a very lovely cinnamony tea. I imagine it's going to be quite warming and such like. So yeah, okay, I shall enjoy this tea. Let's move on to the question. So today's question comes from either Adriana or Adriana. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. But they have asked, do you speak a second language? If yes, what is it? And why did you learn it? And how do you practice it? If not, is there a language you like the sound of and would be interested in learning? So let's sort of deal with the first question first. Do you speak a second language? Now, I am a very typical typical English person, and no, I do not. We are very complacent, which is awful. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah, I only speak English. I mean, I can write in computer languages, but I don't think that counts really. So no, I do not speak a second language. It wasn't really a second language wasn't pushed much when I was at school. I think it is more now. I think there's more sort of call for more languages now. But when I was at school, we all had to do French. So we all did French. But I wasn't very good at French. I was never very good at French. I could never quite get the grasp of it properly. But so you all did a bit of French. And I think you could opt into Spanish. I think maybe German as well. Although there wasn't really much of a push for it. Another language wasn't really encouraged. Well, I don't think it was anyway. Maybe I missed the signs. Maybe they told me in a different language and I didn't understand. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really remember anyone going, right, languages are really important and you should all definitely go for, French and Spanish or whatever. It was kind of more of a if anyone's interested, you could do German if you like, whatever. And a sort of shrug of the shoulders. I don't really think it was a big thing that was pushed for. So yeah, I did French. To a very minimal sort of level. I don't really do French very well. I can't really do anything. I couldn't remember much now. I mean, I recall that, in my exam, in the speaking part of the exam, when I did my French GCSE, which is kind of like your basic sort of, qualification here in the UK, or it was. Is it still the same? I think they're graded different. I still think they are GCSEs now, but they're graded differently, aren't they? But, when I did that, other people coming out saying, "Oh yeah, it was fine. I got to talk about my family and the fact that my dad had a job or something." And I go, "Oh, okay, right. I know that bit. I can just about deal with that," because I wasn't very good. I wasn't very confident with the whole speaking French thing. And I got in, and there was a little bit of paper that told you your sort of scenario, if you like. And my scenario was that I'd been walking along the beach and I trod on a bit of glass and I had to go and find a hospital. I don't know what these things are. I don't know what beach is in French. I don't know how to say, "I've stood on a bit of glass. Could you please direct me to the hospital?" So I really struggled. I had a lot of prompting from the teacher to try and help me out with that. But I was never very good. And I suppose, and as I recall, the teacher wasn't the best teacher. And I think that does, when you're sort of young and at school, that does sort of help, doesn't it? You have a really good teacher that's really exciting and keen and into things, then you generally sort of follow suit. Whereas, as I recall, our French teacher wasn't the most sort of dynamic and sort of exciting people, as I remember. I mean, it was a long while ago, my goodness me. But yeah, so maybe because she wasn't overly enthusiastic about things, and I wasn't very good at it, I never really sort of followed up with it. So yeah, so I got a pass. I got a C grade at GCSE French, which was very impressive. I must have done very well because I was awful at the other stuff. So as in the other stuff like the coursework and such like. So I must have done well in my talky thing. But so I got a C. And that was it. And that was kind of the last language stuff I did. So yeah, I mean, now I look and I think, I should have done another language. Should have done something else. I mean, if I had to learn one now, I think I would pick one that would be useful. I would pick a useful language. And I was kind of thinking about this. I was pondering which language which one I'd go for. And so, I kind of thought three. I thought 3 languages. I mean, I wouldn't learn them all. This is greedy because it says, if not, is there a language you like the sound of and would be interested in learning? So I will answer the question. It says a language. So I'll sort of put forward the 3 that I thought would be the most useful to learn. And then I'll go for the one which I would actually like to learn. So, I mean, number 1 would be French. I mean, I know a little tiny bit of it. I know how to say I walked along a beach. I don't know how to say I walked along a beach. I can say some very basic things. But yeah, I mean, France is just over the sea, obviously, from here. It is not far away at all. So it would be very handy to be able to go and explore France. Because apparently, I mean, it's really weird. I've only ever been once. It's like so close. But it'd be nice to be able to go and explore it without struggling to understand, signs and things and people and all that kind of stuff. It'd be lovely to go and do it sort of properly and be able to understand what's going on rather than kind of struggling and muddling through, like we do normally in the Geek Cupboard. So that'd be good. And of course, it's very nearby, so you don't have to go too far away to make use of your French. So that would be sort of useful language to learn, number 1. A useful language to learn, number 2, would be Spanish. I mean, for a couple of reasons, really. Number 1, Spain is not that far away either, really. It's kind of, just going a bit through France and out the other end kind of thing. So that'd be handy. So go to Spain, and that's nice. I've been to Spain many times. We could go there, and I could understand some stuff. But also, I mean, Spanish, is spoken at so many other places. So you could go to lots of other places. South America. You could go to South America. There's lots of sort of Spanish-speaking places there. So it'd be really useful. It would open up a lot of avenues. So, you could go around the place and again, just sort of understand signs and things and instructions and what's going on rather than sort of looking at them and going, I've got no idea. Do we go left or right? What's that sign asking for? It's asking for, a money or a friendly wave or whatever. I don't know. So, it's one of those things where, again, that would be useful and it would open up a lot of avenues. Or Japanese. I've always wanted to go to Japan. Because it looks amazing. It looks like a wonderful, exciting, fantastic place. And I mean, I wanted to go for years anyway. Because, video games and sort of, kind of geek culture sort of stuff. There's a lot of that there. A lot of sort of, anime and all that kind of stuff is from Japan. And, Nintendo and such like. So there's so much stuff in Japan that I would love to go and see. And of course, they've got, is it in Japan Universal Studios or something? They've got the great big fantastic looking Super Mario kind of world theme park type thing, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. So I just want to go there. But of course, I mean, so with French, if you know sort of a bit of French, you can sort of guess at what the words might mean. sort of. At least you could guess at trying pronouncing the words. And if you have a little sort of smattering of French like I have, I might be able to sort of try and work out certain things, to try and work out certain sentences or whatever. And sort of the same with Spanish. You could maybe have a half-educated guess at what some things mean by sort of reading them out, and maybe it sounds a little bit like an English word or whatever, so I could try. Whereas in Japan, I would have no hope at all because I can't read Japanese. So it's just, to me, it looks like amazing, fantastic, kind of wonderfully precise little sort of drawings, which they're beautiful to behold, but I wouldn't understand any of them. I wouldn't understand what I was looking at all. So to be able to actually understand that would be fantastic. And again, it's useful for getting around the place, getting on the fancy trains, the bullet trains and all that kind of stuff. It'd just be really handy rather than just looking up and seeing all these things and going, nope, no idea. So yeah, I mean, I sort of narrowed it down to those three. I mean, I'm sure there are many other widely spoken languages. There's Mandarin, all that kind of stuff. But I thought, yeah, Spanish, French and Japanese. And then I kind of pondered and I was like, well, which one's going to be most useful? And I did think, on the reasoning that we sort of touched upon there, I would probably, even though it's going to be the single most hardest one that if I ever had to learn it, I could have chosen, I would probably go for Japanese. Because I think with French, as we say, we can sort of maybe muddle through, although it would be useful to go to France, wouldn't it? It would be useful to go to France and speak French. It is only across the border. But I mean, again, we have this, when you speak English, when you're a native English speaker, there is this kind of laziness almost. You kind of just go, well, places will probably speak English, it'll be fine. So when you go to France, you kind of think, well, most people will speak English. If they don't understand us, we'll just speak in English and hope that they understand what we're saying a bit, because everyone speaks English, don't they, kind of thing. So that's the kind of logic there, and it's not very good, is it? It's a terrible sort of thing. So I mean, would I want to do French? No, I think Japanese. I think Japanese would be what I would go for. I think it sounds the most adventurous one. And I think it'd be the most exciting one. And I could go around Japan and it would be amazing. And I could understand everything that I was looking at. I mean, I might not understand the sort of context in terms of the culture of what I'm looking at and all that kind of stuff. But, I could certainly, read the signs and kind of know whether it's saying, turn left, turn right, stop, go, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think I would pick Japanese. Probably one of the hardest languages to ever learn in the world or something. I don't know. But I think that's what I'd go for. But yeah, I'm not planning on it. I'm not planning on it at any point. Do not worry. But yeah, I think of Spanish, French and Japanese, I would go for that. Although it probably is the least globally used. I think I'd probably just like to go to Japan and have that knowledge. So there we go. There we go. I mean, if I could learn all three, if I could force all three into my head as well as English, that'd be amazing. Because then Spanish and English, if you could speak Spanish and English, that's quite a chunk of the world you've got covered there. That's amazing. But yeah, I would go for Japanese, I think. But yeah, if I could learn the other two as well, that would certainly be very beneficial indeed. So there we go. There we go. Hopefully that answers that question. That was an interesting question. That made me think. I wrote notes on that. I kind of wrote some little sort of notes on a notepad file. So I'm sort of looking at them now. But because, it was an easy sort of straightforward sort of thing. I had to go away and think about that for a while. So yes, thank you for asking it. But there we go. There we go. So question answered. And now all I've got left to do is, finish this tea off. So I think I will do that and we will wrap things up for the moment. So for now, thank you very much for joining me for day 13 of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021. And I will see you next time. This is going to end badly. This is going to end badly, I suspect. My God, it's Penge. So yeah, I don't know how to do the engine bit. I feel that might be a problem in making a car. I've broken the windscreen. It's ending badly. It's ending very badly indeed. I might crash into a tree. How do I do any of the stuff with this car?